I knew right away. Once I seen him fall down, then they replayed it. He looked back to see what happened. You could see him say, like, it's done, it's done. Like, I did it. Podcast P fam, welcome back to another episode of Podcast P, a Wave original. It's your boy PG. Join with me is my guys, Dallas Rutherford.
Boys are back in the studio.
The boys are back in
I'm
town.
just sitting in the studio.
And Jackie Long.
Shabba-dabba, tweet, tweet, tweet. We back, baby. Good to see y'all, man. Good to see y'all, baby.
Jackie's like,
Good to see y'all, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this right after Game 7. We watched it live together here
Yes,
in the
we
studio.
did.
We're going to dive into the NBA Finals. We'll talk about the blockbuster KD trade between Houston and Phoenix that happened today and more. But first, fellas, how we living? How we doing? We back on set.
I stay on sets. I'm loving it. You know what I'm
So
saying?
hey, it's new to us, okay?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
trying to
like,
flex.
bro,
You
I
big
had to
flex.
flex
some
a
of us
little
don't
bit.
just get to be in the studio all
You
day.
know,
know what
this
I
is
mean?
nice though. You know, I get to see y'all again and see how y'all really living right now. This feel good because
You know
it's
what
been
I
a
mean?
minute. All this goddamn remote we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? The remote ain't this.
It's nothing like this right here. It's nothing like getting the homies back together. We get to, be back in our element again. We got a new setup.
I was driving down here just like, man, just memories.
It's just- yeah, it's-
thinking,
this is
like, yeah, it's good
Pennsylvania.
to be back.
I was like, damn, I ain't been on Pennsylvania Street in a minute. You know, I ain't been over here,
The boys
man.
just did come to my baby shower though, so
Oh,
thank
yes,
you guys again
Yes,
for
sir.
coming.
Congrats on that.
Congratulations.
You know? Papa down.
me
Papa
and
down.
Sloan,
Shout out
me
to
and
Papa
my
down.
woman did not go home empty-handed.
Jackie's
Yeah.
Tell us what you won.
Yeah, what did you win?
We won a Smell Good candle
Okay.
Okay.
and Starbucks.
Okay, there you go. A little gift card.
Yes, we did. Got a
Okay.
Starbucks gift card, and I was very excited about it. You
Was
know?
it a cheap Starbucks?
No, I think
I don't
about
know how
it.
much it was yet. We ain't checked to see how much it is.
It's 100. It's
It's 100?
solid,
Okay.
Oh, we gonna get
That's
Starbucks
good
for
for two
both.
Starbucks.
The whole month.
Good for two Starbucks.
Yeah, about two. Let me say, yeah,
About two.
about two because they high price for sure, for sure. But y'all know y'all been watching the Shai.
Up
I've been busy working,
up
boss.
to episode 3.
Yeah, we can go back to remote, y'all. My friends don't even
No,
support
look.
me.
This
Like,
what it is. This what it is.
What?
Like, the show is so good. I hate watching it like one by one. They got like watch episode, wait a week. Watch episode, wait a week. So I wanted to build it up a little bit so I could just binge watch.
Yeah, and that's what he told me. So I'm just waiting until it's
So
over.
where you at right now? Because you know
Episode 3. I'm season 6. He can't say the same, but
Nah,
I'm
I'm
season
waiting
6,
for it
episode
to
3.
be all done.
see that's where you fucked up too.
Why?
It was season 7.
Oh, is it 7?
Yeah, you talking about season 6? It's season 7.
Okay, I'm season 7. I'm
Season
season 7,
7?
episode 3.
That's what I'm saying. Friends ain't shit. But season
It's so good, I just lost count.
Okay, then say that.
Well, we're going to move on. P, we're going to get things started with the 3-man weave presented by DraftKings. And we just watched, it was an okay game, but we got to talk about our boy Tyrese suffered a devastating injury, which they seem to report was his Achilles. But P, what was your thoughts just when you saw that happen and all that go down?
Oh, man. I mean, it's over. I knew it was over from the moment, you saw that, which is unfortunate because he came out hot. You know what I mean? He came out as a leader. You could tell he was ready. He was prepared. And then I knew right away. Once I seen him fall down, then they replayed it. He looked back to see what happened. And then you could, read his lips when shout out Josh Corbill, who, the trainer that was there, the first respond there, you could see him say like,
Yep.
it's done. It's done. It like, I did it. It happened. So yeah, I feel for him.
The craziest part of that injury to me is obviously we've seen people go through that injury. And most times they look back, but they're always grimacing in pain. And not that I didn't think he was grimacing in pain, but you could just see how hurt that he was so sad that like that almost overshadowed his pain at that moment. He was just hitting the floor going, no. Like it was like an emotional injury too. Like a lot of guys, they're just holding their leg. He was just disappointed because he knew it was a wrap. And that is a tough way to. I don't think we've seen something like that in Game 7 NBA Finals. Not
in the
that's a
Game
tough
7.
one.
I remember the KD when he tore his Achilles in the Finals 2019. But this is different. This is different for a Game 7, win or go home, leaving it all on the line. And I mean, you can literally see the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Got a chance to win it on the opposing team's floor. Like for him going into the situation, no sweeter, set up to a championship than this right here. And then, you hear guys talk about it all the time. I've never gone to the, finals, and I'm going on year 16. You hear guys talk about it all the time. I've been one time, haven't been back since, or haven't even gotten out of the first. Like, guys have different stories throughout the league, so it's just tough. When you put it in perspective, this type of injury, that injury alone is hard to come back from. So, yeah, it's tough, man. It's a brutal injury.
When you think about it, in the playoffs alone, who else we seen? We seen Damian Lillard. We seen Jason Tatum, even the great Kobe, and
that's the only Achilles of the year. Those three, Tatum,
Damian, and Tatum.
I feel like it was one more person in the playoffs, but it's been a lot of Achilles, just in general.
Yeah.
With that said, though, Pete, with Tyrese right now with the Achilles, and I want your expert opinion on this, Pete. Why do you think the players keep suffering these injuries in today's game? Is it the pace of the play, or is it Tatum and Haliburton played in the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
long season.
Long season. Do you think they doing too much practice, or do you think they want it so much because they know, oh, this is the year that I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to practice harder and harder. Do they need to? I know they changing all these different rules in the game. They having all these different in-game tournaments and stuff now. Do you think that's even a problem? Like that in-game tournament, because it's like you get to the finals and your Achilles goes out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in his situation, who knows the underlying injury that was there? Who like he might have had like the calf. He's had a calf strain, right?
Right.
So he has some type of soft tissue injury there. And who's to say, like, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not there, but I've had injuries where I've gotten, shots, or I've taken pills to numb the pain. So I'm hurting. My body is telling me that it's broken down, but you take something to alleviate the pain and you don't feel shit anymore, right? So you're playing like your normal self. Matter of fact, you might be playing like the season just started, because that's how good you feel. It feels like this is game one. Your body it feels like you're in game one. And then and this is the most intense game of his career, right?
Right.
And so, you don't know, like, he takes a step, pop, it just tears. I've been in situations where my knee was banged up, my shoulders were banged up, and I took the Toradol shot, and it was like a flip of a switch.
Feel like a new person.
A new person, bro.
Wow.
Like I felt like I didn't need to stretch. I felt like, when you walk in the gym and like
feel nice and warm.
The first time you touch the ball, you throw the shit up in the air and go dunk it. Like that's how you feel. It feels like game one of the NBA. Like your body just feels fresh. And it heats your body up, right? The medicine heats your body up. So like you just feel brand new. And you're unaware of the injury. You don't even think about it no more. Like all you notice is like, I'm fucking Superman. Like,
right.
I can go through a wall right now. And so your body is sending you the check engine light. You disregard that.
And that play was all instinct. He hit 3 out of 4 threes. Someone closed out tough. That's what a basketball player does.
That's his patent.
I mean, that's what he does.
Left.
So
yep.
He was just making the shots alone. He was probably feeling good. I mean, he was talking in that timeout,
and it could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's a lot. He's playing. Like you said, from the Olympics, the long season, long playoff run, all like how fast Indiana plays, the pace that they play at. And I think you're seeing it a lot just with NBA guys in general because of how fast the game is now. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a lot more possessions. It's a lot more up and downs. If you track how many miles basketball players ran 10, 20 years ago to how many miles basketball players are running now on the court, you know what I mean? It's probably a mile difference. You know what I mean?
Do you think if they, I think LeBron said this the other day, they should have how many minutes a quarter now? He said something.
What he said, 10 or something?
I think it's like 10 minutes a quarter.
That the game should be at 10 minutes a quarter?
10 minutes a quarter. Do you think that'll help it out a little bit? Because he'll get less time each quarter because other players got to play. So do you think if that did happen, you think that could be a help?
No, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to help enough.
I don't think it's going to help enough. I don't think it's going to help enough.
What about just the strained calf debate? Because I think KD had the same thing. Do you think guys, kind of a two-part question, do you think guys moving forward, if they have a strained calf, it seems like they're high risk at this point to rupturing that Achilles tendon? What are your thoughts on that? Will that be a shut it down moving forward?
I think at the end of the day, it falls on the player, right? At the end of the day, it falls on the player. But I do think there needs to be a better relationship because I've been on, like I said, been on organizations where, like, I'll tell them, hey, this is like, this don't feel right. Like, oh, take this, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, something happens and it's getting worse and it's worse and it's worse. But there needs to be a better, you know, I think relationship amongst the player and the training staff or the front office. But in this situation, like, again, you're not going to hold nobody out of a game 7. Like, you're not going to hold me out of a game 7 before finals. In KD's situation, we're in the finals. Like, you're not going to hold me out. And I was thinking, like, damn, he should probably, like, Indy should probably sit him game 3, right? They did their job. They split back in, you know, Oklahoma, did their job. Game 3, it looked like he was questionable at that point. Was he going to play? Was he not going to play? How bad is the injury? He came out and he just didn't look himself, right? Like that. If he like, and I get it, playoffs, like you want to play every game. Hindsight, you want to play that, but like if you were to be able to kind of foresee, you know, an injury like this coming, like maybe we should sit him game 3. Try to at least give him a little rest, and then try to get game 4, win that, because he wasn't himself game 3.
Somebody got to put their foot
and you
down
saw it.
in the upper office. Because he said if he can walk, he can play. Somebody should have said no. Let's get you healed as much as you can. But I think if I was a player, I know what they go through. It's like you thinking of your fans because they gonna beat you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
if he doesn't play,
exactly.
Like, that's what
it's like he probably going through that and just he's there. Like, I'm in the finals.
You're in the finals.
But it's like, man.
I mean, that's what it comes like. If you in the finals, you want to play. Period. Point blank. Period. Regardless what's going on, give me the pill. Give me the shot in the ass. Like,
that's a pause.
We don't do that. We don't do that no more.
We don't do that no more.
We don't do that.
We don't do that no more.
We too grown for that.
Ever since Coutinho,
we
don't do that no more. Yeah, he shut it down. We
don't do that no more.
We OGs
too grown
now.
for that.
We shut that shit down.
I just think everybody, and it's a good thing to have. I just think a lot of these players have the Kobe mentality. You see how Kobe played with nothing but injuries and everything. He hurt his last game with the Achilles and still went to the free throw line. So if you watch somebody like that growing up and you have injuries, I think every player's like, I got that Kobe mentality. I don't care. I'm going to die on the court if I have to. And I just think in this situation, of course, we're going to say he shouldn't have played, but we're not in that situation to know what the feeling he has and his wife, girlfriends, family, whatever is like. If you can walk, like he said, I can play. You know, if it's not bothering, but you know, shout out to Tyrese, man. You did your shit today, though, man.
Shout out Tyrese, man.
Hey, one quick follow-up question, because again, if he doesn't go play, he gets ripped, right? He gets ripped. And he goes out there and plays. I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything like that, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when, you know, luckily it was his right leg, I believe. And it's not like Tyrese is a 2-foot jumper, you know what I mean? But most guys don't produce as well after that injury. It's a tough injury to come back from. So, like, again, game 7, I get it. You got to go play. But it will be interesting to see from, like, a franchise perspective. Like, that's their guy.
Yeah.
And now you probably don't have him for the following year. You can't really depend. If I'm a franchise and a business, we might not, sadly, get the same Tyrese back. So
That's true.
Yeah,
It's a tough risk reward. I mean, that's a big swing.
Yeah,
Damn.
it shapes. I mean, it's gonna shape the future of Indiana. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The same way the injury with Jason Tatum's gonna shape the future of Boston. You know what I mean? Like that window that they had of keeping those guys together
Might look different.
it might look different. You got to wait out
Yep.
another year. You know what I mean? And so, like, things change, the league change, guys move around. That, you know, who's to say, like, you know, the window, you know, and we're talking about a 23-year-old.
of
So,
course.
like,
Exactly.
he'll heal. He's young.
Exactly.
He'll heal. But that injury is a hard one to come back from.
Sad to see, and we'll keep him in our prayers. And
All I can say is, at the end of the day, he gonna be better when he do come back. I think because he's young, and we all know that was a hell of a series we just watched. And I must say, and shout out and congratulations to OKC winning their first championship. Gotta give him that. Gotta give him that. Shai Alexander had a hell of a career this season. You know what I'm saying? He MVP of the game today. And I'm gonna ask you this, Pete. What are your thoughts on this finals, on the run that they had, man?
I thought it was great. You know, I thought what was impressive was because they were special last year, right? They were number one in the West last year, and you know they didn't really had nobody. Like this is the same group that came back. They added Caruso, obviously Hardestein. Those were the two, which are which I think what got them over the hump. But I think the core of that group being together, them learning, and I loved all the. You know, when you watched them, you saw Shai talking to his team. You saw Jalen Williams talking to the team. Like you saw moments where they were collectively trying to get on the same page, and through every series, you know what I mean? Like every series, you saw growth. You saw them trying to figure out the game, and I thought that was special. I thought that stood out. But then, you know, I love, you know, I think Shai is kind of separating himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's putting himself in a category of his own of, you know, we hear the debate of who's the face of the NBA and who's the young face of the NBA. And, you know, I think Shai kind of, you know, is taking that to heart. You know, he's tough, man. He's I think for the future for sure, he's gonna be you know, in that conversation of, you know, when you look at, you know, the KDs, the Steph, the Bronze, like, you know, they held 2010, 2020, they held those eras down. I think Shai is going to hold this next era down. But, you know, shout out Sam Presti, shout out Clay Bennett, shout out Oklahoma. Still got love for that organization. They deserve it. It was, you know, it was great to have and see both teams I played.
I love
for.
how they, every time they win a game, I love how when they do the interviews,
How they all together.
all together.
Yeah.
I love that because some of the players, I don't even know they was sitting on the bench. I didn't even know they was on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
gonna see them.
You get to see them,
Yeah.
and it's like that's dope how they started it. Because I don't see no other NBA team do that, and it's like some people ain't even played, and they will stay there just to do the interview in the background. And I think that was something cool that
And
they,
Indy does that as
Yeah.
well.
they do that too. Okay, so
Yeah,
They're a real
Indy does
close
that as
group.
well. They're shout out James Johnson. Like, you know, they if Tyrese got an interview, they're gonna wait on the floor and wait, you know, to help him off the floor and be there for him. So yeah, you see that and that's those the teams that stick out, and those are the reasons why those are the last two teams standing, because that
Little stuff like
cohesiveness,
that, yep.
you know, there's a bond there.
Yeah, Shai was awesome as a leader because you kind of just said that. But there was a couple one clip I remember. I think Chet took a hard foul and he fell on the floor, and Shai went right up to him and just said, "Bro, are you good?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, we need you." Like so it was fun to see him kind of rally the troops. But SGA won the MVP, a scoring title, and a Finals MVP, and won the championship. Arguably the best season from a guard since Michael Jordan in 1998.
Damn.
Do you think we're going to start? I mean, I think we will, but how quick is the media going to start throwing that out? Because that's a lot of accolades in one season for a young star in our
young one.
league. Like
Yeah.
he's going to get those comparisons here pretty soon. I already saw Scotty and
Jalen Williams.
Yeah. So
yeah, you are. But I think that same year, what MJ did he win the defensive?
MJ had one more
first team all defense as well.
So he's missing that.
So you're missing
yeah,
that.
You're right.
He's missing that.
That's the only thing you missing.
So you can't give him. Yeah,
that's true.
But I think you like it's 1A, 1B. You know what I mean? Like I think you can put him in. Not that you're putting him in a conversation with MJ, but you're from a season standpoint, you got to put him in that conversation. That's a hell of a year, especially in the league today. It's tough. You know what I mean? As a smaller guard, you know the way he plays, especially the analytics. Like they despise the way SG plays more now than they did in any other year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want threes and layups. Well, he gets to the free throw line, which is great, but he doesn't shoot threes, and you know what I mean. Like for him to be able to do that, and I think it just it should put a ton more emphasis on the players that can operate in the mid-range game, because you see, like
it's important.
It's important.
It's very important.
It's important when you got guys that can operate in that area. So they're trying to lose that part of the game with we want to trade twos for threes. The essence of the game is playing in the mid-range. Yeah.
With that team being so young, P, and if they stay together, do you think that they have a shot to string off a few here and actually have a dynasty, or what are your vibes with the group?
I think they can. I think they can. Shai's young. I mean, the whole core. Lou Dort's young. I think at this point it's just going to be about how much does winning together matters. You know what I mean?
That's what happened the last time we saw something.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't win it, but it will be interesting.
But you saw what they could be, and then it's just going to come down to how much does winning together mean. So, like, they can probably win and be successful off on their own, but how important is it to win together?
I'm gonna say I like how they look, but from watching the finals, them going to Game 7 and giving up they first game, I'm gonna say they'll need a little bit more help in the long run before they become a dynasty team. I think sure.
But they just, I mean, they can.
I just think they're gonna need a little bit more help. Like Chet Holmgren needs to get big. He's too little. Like, he got a ring. Don't get me wrong.
He's 20. You talking about guys that are 22, 23
right
years old.
Did you know how skinny I was when I was 20?
He's going to be going up against Joel Embiid soon. And that is a big dude, man.
He won. So it
don't matter. Yeah.
It don't matter. And again.
They won as is.
And again.
True.
They're 23, 22 years old,
yeah, 24
young. Years old. Like, they're going to get better. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get smarter. Like, this is the youngest team that has won a championship.
And a lot of other teams is too.
Huh?
And a lot of other teams is too. Gonna get bigger and gonna get smarter.
This is the most unique
they got a
setup that you'll see right here.
This
is the most
gonna
unique.
Be a problem.
I like them. Don't get me wrong.
They still might get somebody else, but I don't see them getting rid of that core. And they like each other.
They like each other.
They good. I like the three main ones for sure.
They can go out and do whatever they want with the picks that they have.
Yeah, true.
Like, think about it. They can move one of those guys for I don't know.
I think they need a better bench.
Name it.
I think they need a better bench.
And we didn't see a prospect that they draft this year who I think is going to be a stud. Nikola Topic. Like, he didn't play all year.
He didn't play at all.
Because he got hurt. But he's a problem. He's a Serbian kid. He's nice. Like, they have pieces over there. That's one thing Oklahoma do. They find talent.
Draft. Yeah, they're going to find the diamond.
They're going to find the diamond in the rough. So, yeah.
Well, they did something this year, so shout out to OKC. Shit.
P, do you think, Sam Presti pretty well, do you think that he keeps that core nucleus, or does he take some of those draft picks that they have and try to go get Giannis in Milwaukee? That would be scary.
That is beyond scary.
He keeps that nucleus. He's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just won with the youngest team in the history of the NBA. We have, we have, draft picks to go out. Like, if like, I can see him very well if, like, things aren't going right that season, or he sees there could be a boost or a change or a face that needs to be added. He can very well make a decision at the deadline, but like right now, I'm running.
Because if you get Giannis,
they already won.
You're gonna mess up everything with Giannis. You gonna break that?
I'm gonna
all up.
like this is like
that'd be disrespectful, kind of to the crew,
to the group,
like,
to the group.
dude.
But like
True.
this is like, all right, we learned from the previous time around having James, Russ, KD, Serge. We learned our mistakes that time around. Like how do we extend this group right here? How do we ride this group out right here? And Sam Presti is the best at, creating a family environment.
How old is Presti? He's a young coach too, right?
Oh, he's not a coach.
The general manager, or what?
Yeah.
What's his,
He's one of the he's got to be on the younger side.
Young. He's been on there. He's doing his thing though. He put the team together. Good, got everybody right over there.
Super smart dude. Super smart dude.
I liked his suit today. He was clean
Yeah.
as hell. He had the black suit on with his
I'm
glasses.
surprised like they panned the camera over to him a couple times. I'm surprised
He
like
was clean.
He
Got a little
didn't
bit
crack
too much?
he didn't crack like one smile or
he was
like
locked in.
He was locked
locked
in.
in.
He was.
I wonder what he was doing on that cell phone. Because he was looking down when
probably
they showed
talking
him.
shit.
Like, yeah, I told you,
Boy.
motherfuckers.
I told you these young motherfuckers gonna get it.
Lakers sold for $10 billion. We need about 25 more of these. Like,
Well, that's a wrap on 3-Man Weed presented by DraftKings. We'll be right back after this break.
Nothing beats relaxing on a hot summer day and watching baseball. And the simplest way to get in on all the action is to download Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It's crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes.
No gimmicks, no weird rules, just ball. Nail your picks and you're heating up. Pick 6 brings upside with payouts up to 500 times. We've got some good MLB action tonight. The Padres and the Nationals play, and here are my picks. I'm going more on 0.5 hits for Machado. Then I'm going to go more on 0.5 hits for Xander Bogaerts. Then I'm going to go more on 1.5 total bases for James Wood, Jackie.
Okay.
And then last, I think I'm going to go more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Nathaniel Lowe. And lastly, Jackie, I'm going less than 0.5 hits for CJ Abrams.
Hey, they all sound like great picks to me, Dallas. All right, I'm going to look ahead at the other games we have this week. We got the Yankees versus the Reds and the Dodgers versus the Rockies. For those matchups, I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to go more 0.5 home runs for Ohtani. I'm going to go more 0.5 hits for Mookie.
Okay.
Got to do that.
Gotta go
You know,
Mookie.
I'm a Dodger
Yeah,
fan.
Mookie.
You know, I'm going to go more for 1.5 total bases for my boy Freddie Freeman. I'm going to go more 0.5 home runs for Mr. Aaron Judge. Got to do that. And my last one, I'm going to go more 0.5 hits for Juan Soto. You dig? So there are my picks. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6. And right now, new customers can take advantage of a special sign-up offer.
Pick 6 from DraftKings is the most fun way to play fantasy sports. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use our code PODP. Again, that's code PODP for new customers to get a special sign-up offer. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus age and eligibility. Restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6, not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Have you ever had your people send you some funds, but it takes days to process? Well, those days are over thanks to Cash App. Cash App is safe, easy, and a fast way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends.
It's super easy to get started. Just enter your phone or email with some other basic info and you're ready to go. You don't even have to include your bank account.
Cash App is secure and safe. If you're about to send money to a sketchy account and a scam warning pops up, so you can rest easy knowing Cash App has your back.
Going out for lunch with some friends and you want to split the bill? No need to throw 3 cards on the table. Just send the money through Cash App. I love using it because it's so easy and it just makes life way less stressful.
What's the least amount of money y'all ever requested someone to pay you back on Cash App?
$50? Give me my shit back now.
See,
$50.
This,
Yeah.
You want
sometimes
that 50?
I sent it by accident. I sent it by accident. Give my money back.
You need that.
I need that.
Pete, sometimes I act like I'm just, doing the right thing, but I'm actually just trying to get the, the credit card reward points. So it's like, then I'll take, get the points, little free vacay. You gotta think,
You thinking.
I am.
Y'all heard the guys. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code PODCASTP in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
We're going to shift to the blockbuster trade. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Houston Rockets, and in return, the Suns got Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and the number 10th pick in this year's draft, along with 5 second-rounders. P, I want to know what your initial thoughts of the trade were, but that seems like a lot. That's a lot for KD at his age, in my opinion.
Shout out KD. Obviously, Houston believes that he has a lot still in the tank, which KD has shown. He still had another, efficient, highly, productive year this year. So shout out KD.
20 points a game or something, right?
North of that. But I mean, he's still showing that he's producing at a high level. So, I think in Houston's eyes, it's let's win now.
That has to be.
We have Alperen, we have KD now, we have a rising star in Thompson. We have, Fred VanVleet, a veteran point guard.
Jabari Smith. I think Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith is still there. I think they made room for Cam Whitmore, who I thought should have been playing a long time ago. He might be one of their better players that I didn't know why he wasn't playing last year, or playing enough last year. And then they have another point guard there, and Reed Shepherd, who I think is been slept on. I think they carved out room for their young guys that they believe in, that they think that, will be the face or will be the future of their organization, with Reed, with Cam Whitmore, with Thompson, with Jabari, Alperen. And I think now you bring in, if we can make a run, we got someone that can close games for us. And you bring in KD. So I'm not mad at it. It's a bit like, I'm not mad at it. I think people are, because of KD's age, they think, what direction is Houston trying to go at the end of the day? But they see a window, and I think they're trying to, shout out to them for you have a young star in Alperen, who I think is a stud, and that's who they believe in.
Sure.
Let's put something around him to try to win.
What about the other side of the coin? The Phoenix Suns. I mean, that kind of says a lot about what their current outlook on their franchise is as well, too. Jalen Green, and it just seems like they got some things that they're going to have to work out.
They got to work out some things, but I definitely think there's going to be more moves. I'm pretty sure Bradley Beal will probably be on the move.
That's a crazy one.
But I mean, you kind of got to, right? You got Jalen Green, you got Dillon Brooks,
too
you
many
got Devin
small
Booker,
people
you got
over there.
Bradley Beal.
I want the ball.
So we saw the relationship between all of those three, and you saw the Bradley Beal kind of stuff going on. I think Bradley Beal will probably get moved. And they try to add more value to. I thought what lacked there was they didn't have enough outside of those three, and I think they're going to try to rebuild with putting more around, more options, more versatility, and I think just a deeper bench. So I'm not mad at the trade. They get a number 10 pick, get another young good guy. They drafted well last year with the young fella Ryan Dunn.
I would have loved to see Jalen Green play with KD though.
Yeah.
Jalen Green play with KD?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I'm curious about his confidence level right now, because
Jalen Green,
he's still a young kid.
He's still a young
in the
guy.
NBA, and from my recollection, he didn't have a great playoff series. This when they just went out and he had a good game, then a bad game, and boom, just like that. And I think he just signed a pretty good contract, and it looked like they were kind of, this is our guy.
Right.
Didn't perform probably up to the expectation.
Right.
Then boom, he gets a trade, and now he's going over somewhere where you already have a star that's established. You know what I mean?
Right.
That Houston team was young, and I mean, Fred VanVleet, experienced, but Fred VanVleet's, I don't think most people look at him like a star. People look at Devin Booker like, he's a star. So it'll be interesting for me to see how he fits in and, his confidence, because it's a lot for a young kid getting traded like that. And, it'll be, I'm excited to watch that.
With that said, Pete, speaking of Jalen Green, like you say, he's young, 23, which we still can't believe. He was the number 2 pick in 2020 and everything. And now with this Houston getting rid of him out of nowhere, what advice would you give to somebody like that that's moving on?
I mean, sometimes it's more beneficial to get moved somewhere else, right? Like, you've been somewhere. He's been in Houston, 4 or 5 years. We know what Houston is. I think it could, bring a lot on to a young guy getting to Houston with the access that there is in Houston, right? I think now you go to Phoenix, rebrand yourself, a fresh start. You can come in right away, and it's kind of like, all right, now I can, it didn't work there. Maybe it's an opportunity to kind of look in the mirror like, all right, what can I bring? What value can I add? It's a chance for like a fresh new identity for himself, right? So I think you gotta, you always gotta look at it as, you could be traded any day, any player, right? We saw that with Luka. You can get traded at any point in the year, right? So you can't take it personal. It's business at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you find a new home, and you kind of just throw yourself into the mix.
And he's, like you say, he's 23.
Young.
So he's
young, right? He's young. But I think this summer has got to be a huge summer for him. This summer's got to be one of the hardest working summers he's ever committed to, right? Because this is a chance to. You're 23. You're going into that phase that I've been in the league 4 or 5 years now. You're going into that next phase of is he going to stick, or is he not going to stick?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got a chance to cement your spot in the league at this point. And so he's got to have a huge summer this year. Shout out, I seen him working with Dash. Shout out Dash. I know Dash going to get him right.
Yeah, Pete, this might be a stupid question, but it's kind of interesting to hear your perspective on it, because I think in your career, you've always been, the big fish that teams have landed. Have you been on any teams where, in Jalen's role right now, Kevin Durant was the big fish in that trade. Houston wanted to go get KD. I don't think you haven't been involved in anything like that where it was man, they got Braun, you know what I mean? There's levels to it. Have you ever been on any teams where you traded away a guy that was for another big star? Because I think there is a perspective there, you know what I mean? Your trades were a little bit different. You were the big fish. He's not the big fish in this trade. It's got to be different.
For him?
It has to be, because he's looking at it dang, they got Kevin Durant. Well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's a different... there's a different relationship there. You've just been traded. You were the guy. All the other people weren't really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that might play a little bit of a role in different perspective.
But then you think, at the end of the day, I got traded for KD. All right. Yeah, all right.
I'm worth something. Exactly.
But then, all right, I got traded for KD, and this is with all the struggles Phoenix has had. I could very well go to Phoenix and be, in his eyes, I could be the savior, right?
Yeah.
I could also save a franchise, right?
It's
an
true.
Opportunity for myself to kind of lift the franchise back up, right? Not to say KD wasn't doing his part, but they fell short. Mm-hmm. So now going into the situation, I have a chance to kind of, this is a good opportunity for me to kind of lift a franchise back up.
I gotcha. I want to talk about some of Tracy McGrady's recent comments, and he was on, I think it was First Take, but He said that plenty of talented players don't get real opportunities to win a title. And as he explained it, and I quote, "We have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by this is if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq, you don't think I could have carried the Lakers to a championship? I never had the opportunity." Do you think that this is a fair assessment on T-Mac's behalf?
Yeah and no. Yeah and no.
What if?
What?
I mean, it is that bottom line, right? It's going to be what if. But yeah, that's a fair assessment. Like, obviously some guys are more fortunate than others to be in the right circumstance, in the right situation. Talent-wise, like, yeah, guys could very well swap and be, on another team and probably be just successful as the person that they swap with. But that's not the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the game. That's why you compete, right? Because I don't have what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
But
exactly.
I got to compete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, you can't look at it that way. Like, you just can't look at it that way.
Yeah, T-Mac's like an exception though. Like I'm actually rolling with the statement. Like I think if you did swap, they would have won some. And again, it's like unfair. Like it's with Shaq, but T-Mac and Kobe, pretty similar one-on-one guys. Like I think that's like a rare like that in this statement. I think it's correct, but what I would not like is now every other there's not a lot of guys that are at Tracy McGrady's skill level and talent and just, I hope guys don't take on this as, well, I would have won a championship if I was on OKC this year. It's
I mean, you have a bunch of guys coming out of the woodworks like, oh, well, shit, I would have won too. I would have won too. Like,
you could have swapped a few people though, like with Shaq being the other guy.
Right. Yeah, I get where he's coming from. And I mean, I agree not to discredit, because, not to discredit him, his career, Kobe's career. Obviously, both of them are, the best to lace them up. But, there was some factors in Kobe that was just will not lose mentality. And, like, you got to factor that into it, too.
100%.
Got to.
There was a different line of competitiveness when it came to Kobe that, I think catapulted him through a couple situations where guys might have fell short on.
Fair.
The draft is coming up this Wednesday, and we always like the highlights of the young stars, with a little rated PG. With that said, who are some of the players you think are going to make a major impact next season? And I already know the first person. Who you going to say?
Who you think the first person?
Uh-oh.
You talk out of the draft, right? Cooper Flag. That's who you about to say. You about to say Cooper Flag.
No, I think that's, of course, Cooper's going to make a huge splash in the NBA. I think a couple guys, man, I think this is a really top-heavy, strong draft this year. I think Dylan Harper. I think Ace Bailey. I think VJ. I think the big fella from Duke. I think given in the right situation, the guard from Florida, like he's proven, Clayton, Clayton, like he's older, but I think right situation, like he'll be a first year productive player. Again, I think this is a very, very strong draft that like better than last year's for sure.
Do you think that's a good look?
And then I think like I think there's some guys that's going to continue to get better that like have taken big jumps this year. I think they're going to take another jump next year, like the Cade Cunninghams. Dude,
he had a great
jump, but I think he's going to take another jump next year. Quiet as kept, I think there are some guys that I like that I thought were impressive on the Wizards this year, who are going to make some jumps.
P, what are your thoughts on, because, it looks like that, the Sixers have their eyes on Ace Bailey. And recently, I don't know if it was him or his agent, but his agent or him came out and said that basically that he wanted to go to a team where he's going to be the number one option. Almost kind of throwing a little demands out before he's even really stepped on the NBA floor. What are your thoughts of seeing a young guy like that, and just from being in the Sixers organization, just does that cause any, we got me, Joel, we got Tyrese, like maybe we go, with someone that, is okay with being more of a role player for the first couple years?
I mean, I think if I'm Ace Bailey, I can't get mad if my stock drops. You know what I mean? I can't get mad if my stock drops, But, he's canceled all workouts. Like, he hasn't worked out for any team. So, like, I don't.
One team?
No.
That's crazy.
He hasn't worked out for any team. Yes. So, I think they made a big deal because we were scheduled to work him out, and he canceled the day up. But he hasn't worked out for any team. But, you're not in a position to be making those demands. You know what I mean? Like,
not
make it to the league
yet.
first.
Yeah,
you know
not
what I mean?
even there yet.
Or the people around him.
It's for sure the people.
Of course,
around
the
him.
people
Right.
For
around
sure the
him.
people around him. I think he's.
Mama and daddy's playing manager.
I don't know who's representing him. I don't know who's representing him, but if I don't think they're going about it the right way. I don't think they're going about it the right way.
What's your thoughts on VJ Edgecombe?
I like VJ. I thought he showed tremendous upside in when he played with Bahamas, and it's almost funny because watching it, he stood out, but I didn't know the name. Like, I didn't know that was the player that went to Baylor, and that's who the kid was. But watching him, and they said how young he was, and I was like he's competing, playing against top talent, and he's dunking on him. He's blowing by him. He was making impact. Like, he was an impactful player. It wasn't about what he was shooting. Like, you make shots, you miss shot. It was more about the impact that he had. That I was like, it's impressive for a guy at that age. So I like him. I like his upside. To me, I think he's kind of like Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? Just a dog, plays hard, plays both ends. And it just has that toughness about him. You know what I mean? Like that want to win at all.
Top 10?
Is he going to be drafted top
10? Whenever you think.
He's for sure top 10.
Whenever you think. Because there's a lot out there, you said.
3, 4.
Probably 4?
I'm interested to
3,
see
4.
where Ace goes, man. Because
that's
bold.
I am too. Because obviously Dylan Harper's the second best player in this draft. But if he goes to they have a Dylan Harper. Like, that was Stephen Castle this year, or Stephen Castle. Like, that was him this year. They have Fox. They have Vassell. Like, they have Shelton. Like, they have guards already. So, like, why wouldn't you take a swing either on a big or a wing?
So you're not a best available type of franchise owner, GM.
I mean, if I think Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey are like
saying that
it's a toss up. I think those two, whoever has the second best, is going for what they need.
I'm saying, like with San Antonio, if they already have a guy, you'd rather pick somebody that more fits your team. I would
pick somebody that more fits my team. I would pick a Ace Bailey, because I just drafted.
Gotcha.
And what was Castle, rookie of the year? Like, what did he finish
Castle,
rookie of the year?
He was rookie of the year, right? Yeah, he was.
So I have that already. You know what I mean? Like, I think Dylan Harper, they kind of have similar intangibles, right?
I forgot Castle was rookie of the year. Damn.
Yeah. And I think what you're seeing with OKC, you're probably right. Like, that, talk about just a well put together team. Like, it just seems like they got all their pieces lined up to where it shows that
But I don't think Ace Bailey doesn't fit a San Antonio culture vibe.
No, not now.
Not right now.
Yeah, saying that he wants to be number one,
I wonder if they'll make I hate to say this, and I wish nothing but the best for him, but that, again, just seems bold. And I know, like, this younger generation, it's a little bit different just with, coming into the league and money and you're the guy, but this could be a humbling experience.
That's
for
a
him,
kid.
possibly.
That's
big humble.
That's a kid that's been paid in college, bro. It ain't like
That's what I'm saying. He's like,
I got money.
That's
I don't care. Like, I would tell you where I want to go. I got money now. It's a rough start, but you know, take it further than that. Like he already came out with that, right? And the NBA they do their homework, bro. Like you don't think they haven't talked to teachers you had. They haven't talked to other coaches, your high school coaches. Like you don't. They do their homework. Like they do their background checks, right? And so, like at the end of the day, you always remember, like this is a business. You're going into, you know, if I'm gonna put my money behind you, I need to know that you're gonna represent us well. And it's almost the me before the team before he's on a team. You know what I mean? So like my advice, man, is just, you know, man, that's cool to like guys have done that, right? Guys have said like, hey, I would want to play here. I want to play there. That's fine.
Reasonable.
Like that's
right,
reasonable.
right. That's just a dream.
Like,
yeah.
Everybody has the cliche, whoever drafts me.
Yeah.
That's the political.
Yeah.
But like, of course, somebody like there's obviously teams guys want to go to, and that he's not wrong for wanting to be a number one option. I'm with him all the way. But to go in, like, the way of going about it is just not
These
right.
kids getting too much money before they get the real money, and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
It's probably going to set a precedent to, like, that's going to happen more.
Yeah.
Has to.
Because they think they got so much money and all these endorsements already.
Has to. It's
They
gonna-
like,
it's
I
gonna
can
keep
wait
happening.
it out. We can go another year, man, without playing. I
And
go home
honestly,
like-
That'll be crazy if it comes down to that.
and then that's gonna be the
The
next
motherfuckers
issue.
sitting out of the league.
Like,
Because you want to.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Like-
they're too good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. Like, I'm going to wait another year. Until
yeah.
OKC has another. Like, I don't know. That's crazy, bro.
That'd be stupid because it's like, where else? It's nothing higher than the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you got all this money, you sitting out because you want to be a top pick.
Mm-hmm.
That is the dumbest
He
shit.
wants to play. He wants to be
Which
on a
he
bad
will.
team.
He gonna play regardless.
Which he
It don't
will.
matter on
The
any team.
reason you're getting picked with the top 3 picks because of
Oh, there's a little exception. Like,
there's
I do-
bad teams. There've been bad teams. There's a reason you're getting picked as high as you are because you're getting picked by a team that struggles. So
That
you're going to
struggle.
make an impact wherever you go.
yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like you're picked, you're drafted to make a change right away.
Maybe I'm biased, but I think the reason why you guys didn't have a great season was because you weren't healthy. So there might be some truth in like coming to the Sixers. You guys have some superstars like that were just not healthy. So maybe going to a team
Just true.
that like most of the time you see teams that have a good pick, they just were horrible and all their guys played. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of something there.
There's some truth there. There's some truth to that.
Coming to play with you guys, like, you know, you
He better go to Washington.
There's some truth to that.
They need some help.
Washington.
A lot of help.
Hey, well, that's a wrap on the episode, fellas, man. It's been great to be back live
Awesome, man.
with the
Hey,
homies.
good, man. Good to see you, man.
Bung, bung. Yo, that's a wrap on the episode. Tap into us next Monday for the next episode. Peace.